2, Kedgley.
Thank you very much, and I would like to particularly focus on Clause 14, 57A number 1, which is about making archived works available for public viewing. And I would really like to pick up from where Claire Curran left off, because it is fantastic that we will make some of the wonderful programs that Television New Zealand has made available for public viewing. I worked at Television New Zealand myself and made a number of programs over a number of years. And actually I worked there in the days when it genuinely was public service television. And then what happened is it was just that little slow. Then we had commercials on some days, and then they weren't allowed on. They were every day except Sunday, and then slowly we went into full commercialisation. But I did have the privilege of working there when it was a genuinely public service broadcaster, and there are fantastic programs that were made then, which New Zealanders would dearly love to see. But will they see these on TV1 or TV2? Will they see these wonderful new archived, or not new, these wonderful archived materials on TV1 or TV2? Well, no, they won't, because from now on, the sole criteria for whether they will screen a program on TV1 and TV2 will be the ratings. Will be how much ratings, how many ratings, what advertisements they will attract. And so they're not going to screen these wonderful programs because they won't rate
because no one wants to watch them.
Because they won't rate like some of those blockbusters from America. And the other reason is and the reason that we see on TV2 has only 17% New Zealand content. Why is this? Because quite frankly, it is a lot cheaper to import these blockbusters from America, these action programs. It's a lot cheaper than actually making New Zealand programs. And so that is why we will see less and less New Zealand programs on TV1 or TV2, and it will basically just become not only commercial television but foreign television. So we'll have 2 New Zealand-owned channels, that is until such time as the government sells them, 2 New Zealand-owned channels screening commercial foreign content. What we're not going to see on TV1 and TV2 are these wonderful archival material, this material that was made at a time when Television New Zealand was able to focus on the public interest, when TVNZ was able to do major current affairs programs such as Brian Edwards' programs for many years. The whole nation was sitting watching these current affairs programs, and they were influencing the debate in New Zealand. Where are the current affairs programs, the in-depth current affairs programs on TVNZ? Well, sure, we have Close-Up, but the constant mantra of Close-Up is, I'm sorry, we've run out of time. The issues of the day, the current affairs issues of the day are all dealt with in 2-minute or 5 minutes if we're later segments, and we're constantly having to wring our hands and say, I'm sorry, we've run out of time. So, unfortunately, the wonderful archival material, which would show us what public service television can be like, what it is like, the wonderful documentaries. When I worked at TVNZ, they had a whole documentary department which did nothing but make fantastic documentaries, Pioneer Women, documentaries like that. Wonderful archival material sitting there in the TVNZ archives, and it's never going to be screened on TVNZ because TVNZ has no public service obligation. It exists solely to make money for the shareholder. It will only screen programs if they can maximise advertising revenue, and so this whole point here of having these wonderful archived materials, allowing their copyright to waive copyright so that they can be screened on television. Unfortunately, it's ironic that in the same bill is going to be the reason why they won't be shown on TV1 or TV2, the publicly owned television channels, because now they will be solely commercial, and they're going to be worried that they won't rate.
Brendan Burns.